Yo, what up gamers, I'm Dark, and you're watching my channel dedicated to breaking down the gameplay of some of the best ADC players in the world. Make sure to subscribe if you want to keep up with all my future content. So Deft currently has an insane 65% win rate on Kalista out of 51 games in Korean Challenger, which is just absolutely crazy. She's easily his best performing champion right now, so let's just see what he does differently to other Kalistas in order to carry games. So starting off, they already got off to a little bit of a disadvantage because of getting poked down as they were entering the lane. But they didn't take too much damage and were able to return some poke at the Vera. So already going for a level 1 all-in. Gonna heal super early before the Lulu gets a chance to ignite. Trade doesn't even turn out to be that good, but it does force the enemy summoners, and they're still holding on to their ignite. So he's gonna go aggressive on Varus again, and that's just gonna be the kill this time. And gonna be just fine thanks to the heal. There's gonna be no chance for Lulu to just flash on him and kill him. And that's just a level 1 solo kill after already getting off to a bad start. So Kalista definitely has among the strongest level 1s of any ADC. Definitely the best kind of ADC to be getting the kill at level 1 on. So now they're just gonna be looking to shove in this wave, I assume, and then just want a base. Making sure to use E to get any lost hits if necessary. And yep, just gonna go ahead and base. Going really far back to ensure that they can't just cancel their base with a Varus E or a Varus Q. Lulu, I think, was too low to risk walking up to cancel their base. Okay, so he grabs the longsword and the boots, also grabs another potion. I think they were thinking about maybe cheesing there, but the cheese would take too long to execute since the wave wasn't that far up yet. However, it's going to be a J4 gank coming in here. So he wants to try and lure them. So he's trying to like bait them into trading on them here instead of going to place vision. But he's making sure that the trade isn't too bad so he can actually follow up when the J4 shows up here. There we go. Yep. Perfectly safe there despite dropping pretty low just because of the Renata W. Yeah, that was pretty slick what they did there. Just they were taking a bad trade on purpose, but not like fully committing to it, not like, you know, losing all of their HP. They were just like slowly trading away. They started off with like one auto and then they backed off and then they traded for another auto. And it was obviously a bad trade because they were trading into a massive wave, but the Varus and Lulu were like, well, we can't just like not abuse this, right? We've got to trade against them if they're going to be walking up like this. They weren't making it too obvious either because they weren't like hard committing, which would have been a bad idea anyway because of how far away J4 still was. But anyway, able now to grab the Vampiric Scepter, so hasn't actually backed with enough gold to grab Berserker's Greaves, which is what you typically want to do on your first base if possible as Kalista if you base on a 1,100 gold. Next time we see him base on 800 gold, that'll probably be what he wants to pick up, but as long as you can't pick up Berserker's Greaves, longswords are better than daggers probably, and Vamp Scepter is definitely going to be better than picking up any other components. So, just gonna be able to sustain herself up here with a Vamp Scepter. Doesn't matter how much poke Varus is able to land. She'll just be able to keep herself healthy at all times. Also got the refillable as well. So that wasn't too good a trade, but the sustain will prevail in the long run, we hope. And yeah, trying to land some poke. It's very good if you can land Q E poke on Kalista, using your E to reset from the minions, so you're not wasting your E. Just basically, you know, it's Q poke, but with the E poke added onto it. Actually forcing the Varus heal there, interestingly enough. It was, again, like, you're gonna notice that these people blow heal very, very early, because it is much better than blowing heal late. Baiting with the heal is not as important as just ensuring that you get the heal off before the enemy ignite. So at the slightest hint of danger, the best players will just always blow heal really early on. Unless they are sure that even if they get ignited, they can just disengage and wait it out. And then they can actually save the heal for actually baiting. Okay, so heading into the river here. Wants to play some vision, I guess. There it is. By the way, the enemy Rengar is Scrub Noob. This game was played like 14 days ago. I don't know if Scrub Noob is still in Korea, but he was in Korea at the time at least. Okay, going for another all-in thanks to the Renata engage. Backing off once he's taking too much damage. I think he forgot about the Renata W though. He probably would have been fine to just kill Lulu. Unfortunately now, because they engaged onto the support instead of the ADC, Varus is quite a bit healthier than Kalista. But that shouldn't matter too much because they get the Renata W. So when Renata W comes back up, they could actually look for another fight into Varus, and I'm sure they would win that. However, they're both running kind of low on mana, and they do have a decent base opportunity here, and he can grab their Berserkers, so I think he's just going to take that. Yep, there we go. Grabs the Berserkers, and going mid, interestingly. What's that about? Going for the Herald? Yeah, it is a minutes. That's when the Herald spawns, I believe. Okay, just actually gonna grab the Herald. Wow. Never seen anyone do that before. In solo queue, at least. This is pretty common in pro play, but this is not pro play. That is weird. So he's actually just losing some farm on ball. And it's not too much at the moment, though. Renata isn't even helping him. It's so weird. But yeah, Varus was not really expecting that rotation, so he didn't like punish this by crashing the wave as soon as possible, because he was expecting Kalista to be back bot at any second. So what is he going to do with this? Is he just going to walk back bot, or is he going to lane swap? Is he going to place it mid? Probably going to be going back bot? No, wait. Wait. Aurelia lane swapped. Wait, no, so their top laner is bot, so... The obvious thing to do would have been to go top. But he's just gonna go mid and just join the fight. I guess he just wanted to be grouped around, you know, where all the action is gonna be. The Rengar might be an issue there, though. Yep, gonna use the brush to get onto Kalista, and that's just gonna be a free kill. Well, that rotation didn't work out too well, but I guess the intent was, you know, just try and impact the map as early on as possible. Definitely not something I would ever do, but, you know, clearly he's probably done this kind of thing in solo queue before, and it's worked out a little bit better. So, actually gonna, yeah, so they basically did lane swap. Aurelia's bot, so he's gonna just go top. I actually love lane swapping in solo queue. It's just not something you can really initiate properly without proper coordination with your top laner. Maybe we should try it sometime, though. Definitely, if you're gonna do this early Herald rotation swap, it can definitely work out way better for you than for the enemy bot lane. So after 5 minutes, the all lanes start to take equal turret damage, so it becomes viable to just swap whenever you want. But he's just gonna leave top again and just go back mid. Is he gonna place the Herald here? Alright, he is. Is this turret already low? Is that why he's doing it? Or is it just about grouping again? Okay, I really went top again this time at least. Is he gonna swap back? Honestly, I have no clue what's going on. I can't believe that this would have actually worked out better than what he was doing before. Or, like, compared to just either committing to the lane swap or just not lane swapping at all. But, at least, you know, with the Herald swap, he does at least get, you know, that guaranteed, like, 160 gold from the Herald. Actually, that is a bit more. I think the Herald on this patch gives, like, 300 gold, right, for lessening it. So, I guess overall he got 460 gold, which I guess is maybe worth it. But he did also die, although that was kind of unrelated to the swap. That was just part of taking the fight and the fight going bad. Going for a Drake fight now. Going on to the Rengar. He's pretty safe since Rengar doesn't have a brush available to him there. Gonna be a free kill onto Syndra too. Didn't have E, but there we go, gets E back up just in time to execute the Rengar. Now gonna try and go on the Varus. Gonna switch on to the Lulu. Okay, doesn't get hit by the Aziri, which is huge, or so the Aziri ult, but doesn't really have the numbers to win this fight, so he's gonna back off for now. And yeah, seems the fight is pretty over. Eventually ends up in a loss for his team, I think, overall, but he does, you know, pick up some kills for himself. As far as, like, the Kalista is concerned, this was a good fight for her. She actually managed to pick up some gold there and not die. Goes back bot, is able to shove that in. Gonna maybe look the base now. I'm sure she's sitting on a lot of gold now. Oh, actually trying to just choose the Varus. So if he waits long enough, Varus will either cancel his base and walk up here, assuming the Kalista is based. Or he actually recalls. And so if he was actually playing a champion with more wave clear here, once he was sure that the Varus had finished his base, he could actually just shove that wave in real fast. So if you're playing Sivir, you could do that. If you're playing Xayah or Jinx, maybe you could do that. But Kalista, I guess, doesn't have too much wave clear, so doesn't want to risk that strategy. It would have worked a lot better if it weren't the cannon wave, actually. If it weren't the cannon wave, he could have done that even on Kalista. But the cannon takes a while to clear. Definitely delays the overall wave clear. So instead, once the cheese clearly wasn't going to work out anymore, since Varus had actually based, he just started the base as well. He didn't want to screw up the wave state, which was actually okay for him. So go ahead aggressive here, using the E onto the minions to slow Lulu and get the reset. So Rengar is able to pick up the Drake there. We're just going to fight the enemy bot lane. Okay, able to pick up the kill on Azir through the wall there. So I'm going to use the ultimate to try and catch out Lulu. But it's just not quite able to. Still, they should be able to go for a fight here. Oh, that was a bit of a spectator bug, but he just flashed there onto the Lulu. Yeah, sometimes it just doesn't quite show where they're flashing to for some reason. Okay, so actually gonna steal the enemy Raptors here. It's pretty smart since they were already there. Oh, is he not actually gonna do the whole camp? Okay, I think he could have. But just gonna look the base instead. So he's already got the shield bow, and interestingly enough, he's going for the Ginsu's second item. As far as I can tell, he seems to... I haven't looked at all of his games, but every Deft game that I've seen so far, he seems to do Ginsu second, which is a little bit unusual. I think most players prefer the Runan's second, because you can do a lot of AoE damage with your E if you do that. It also gives you a lot of wave clear. It's super good for wave clear. He's probably also going to be going for the Wit's End third, and I mean, Wit's End third is the kind of item that synergizes really well with both Ginsu's or Runan's. With Runan's, you get to spread the on-hit and do some AoE with it, and again, a lot of wave clear. But with Ginsu's, you're going to do a lot of single target damage, which is going to amplify the Wit's End on single target. So he's definitely going for a full DPS build. Does he really need it against this comp, though, considering they're full squishy? Probably not. I could see this build making a lot more sense if the enemy team was quite a bit tankier, but it also could just be that he doesn't want to go Runan's because the enemy team is mostly ranged. So they might not be as grouped up as if they had a lot of melees, and, you know, frontline has to group up to some extent. But inarguable that he's just going to be dealing more... Nice. More single target damage with this build. Okay, so the second Herald should probably enable just a free turret here. Don't even have to wait for the wave. Alright, and that turret is worth a lot of gold for red team, so that's something they can be happy about. Gonna go aggressive here, 1v2 initially. Just got his team around to follow up versus the Varus Flash. And he secures a second Herald charge, so that's not gonna be a turret this time, but it will be a lot of turret damage. So I guess Deft's team didn't really want to bother going for that second Herald charge, but Deft, I think, wanted to guarantee that, so that's why he went aggressive on them there. He knew he was safe anyway because his team was there. So now probably gonna look the base. And actually just gonna grab the QSS here instead of actually going for his third item initially. So I guess the reasoning for that is QSS, like, when you're against any comp that has any kind of CC, like especially against the Lulu W, or you can get caught up with this injury as well. If you're really ahead, then it's gonna prevent you from being caught out, and it's gonna enable you to carry harder because you can go more aggressive and just not have to worry about the CC. So I guess his reasoning is just he wants to go more aggressive and use his lead. and reckons his damage is already going to be fine enough. Because I mean, even with this QSS, he's still like way ahead of Varus in terms of items. So you can see he's just pretty much frontlining here. And yep, there it is, the QSS on the Lulu W. It just enables him to go that aggressive, so probably gonna have to call it there, or at least wait for the J4 to engage for him. Gonna try and count the Rengar, but not much to do there without flash up. So just gonna be a double kill for Scrub Noob. He's gonna be trying his hardest to carry this game. His entire team is really behind, but he's doing pretty well for himself at least. Okay, so they're gonna try and go for the Aurelio. Okay, and that's gonna be a kill for Azir. So Azir's not doing too bad at least. He could still be pretty relevant. Azir's the kind of champion that is just good at all stages, really. He has I think, a reputation for being a hyper carry. I disagree with that. He does do a lot of damage if, you know, people are just standing still on his soldiers, but they rarely are. I think he's got an okay late game, he's got an okay mid game, he's got an okay early game. So long as he's not behind, he's gonna be useful. Alright, he's going for a very defensive build. Anyway, definitely heading for the Wit's End third here. It just makes a lot of sense. The enemy team has 2 AP, and one of them definitely does a lot of burst. That being the Syndra. But Kalista's the kind of ADC that's to build pretty defensively. That's why she can only go Shield Bow. Yeah, because you can see, like, he was just frontlining in that team fight pretty much. He needs to be relatively tanky. The tankier he is, the more aggressive he can go, and Kalista does want to go really aggressive. So that's just going to be a very early Baron. Enemy team not going to spot that out. Nice. There's pretty much no chance of a steal anyway for the enemies, since Kalista can just out-secure it over the jungler, so... The only chance was if they just spotted the Baron in time and could just go aggressive on them and force them off. So I'm going to try and go for the Azir here. Just barely doesn't execute with the E, but is he able to pick up the kill? Yes, he is. Azir has no ult, so isn't able to peel Kalista off of himself. Now we're gonna head towards the fight over there. Flashing directly onto the Rengar. I'm not sure he wanted to do that. I think he got caught out by the direction at which Rengar ran at. So Rengar was a lot more prepared to go on him than he expected. Rengar maybe had a vision in that bush, who knows. Another good point about the QSS, by the way, is that can also get rid of slows, especially if you're getting like slowed by, like at the same time as you're getting stunned, and when the stun would run out, you would be slowed after. Kalista hates being slowed. It just reduces her DPS when she's dashing. So even just for slows, it can be useful to QSS sometimes. Again, with the instant QSS over the Lulu W. The MR from QSS cannot be underestimated either. Can definitely be a big deal in a game like this, where she is against double AP. So keeping her distance from Rengar here, although I think at this point she doesn't have to worry anymore. She's got the Renata W. So by the time that came on, she pretty much had no reason to be afraid of Rengar anymore. But he doesn't have voice comms with his Renata, so it's hard to know when he's going to be getting that buff. Renata is definitely the kind of champion that works better when you're pre-made. Okay, so funnily enough, gonna be grabbing a fire cannon here. I don't know why though, it's not really that good on Kalista. But that's what he chose. So whenever that comes up, at least, if he's able to land an auto attack on a champion thanks to the fire cannon slow, it's also going to give him a dash and give him a chance at actually getting in range for a proper auto attack. Oh my lord, that damage. Nada didn't even get a chance to use W on herself. Okay, and he actually takes out Deft as well. Although the kill goes over to Lulu. Yeah, so Rengar proving that he's still definitely a threat, and blue team could still be in this game. They're actually about even in kills now with the Rengar being so fed. They're able to get a turret and an objective bounty as well, which is going to be huge towards letting the other blue side members catching up to the red side. So one thing that's worthy of note is Deft CS isn't actually too good this game. He definitely has not been playing too much for farm. If he wanted to maximize farm, you know, he would have been spending most of his time in lane in the laning phase. Rengar's going to be going aggressive here. Doesn't have too much backup from his team though. So Deft doing what he can to survive. Not able to get a revive from the Renata W though. But they are able to take down the Rengar. He did a lot of damage before going down at least. Saka's going to be fine there, and that's going to be a teamfight win for red team, even despite Deft going down. They actually just sold his fire cannon and just swapped it out for a Randuin's, which makes a lot more sense. I think he's realized what a threat the Rengar is, and he can't afford to build experimental items like fire cannon against them if he wants to win this game. They won this fight, but you know, every fight is not guaranteed. I think Rengar also didn't go for the best teamfight angle that he could have gone for. He was a bit overeager to try and catch out the Kalista there, I think. Yeah, his farm is not too good this game. He's definitely been prioritizing trying to impact the map. Even as, you know, as far as 8 minutes on, just getting that early herald, making sure the enemy team can't get that. Getting some early turret damage onto the enemy mid lane turret as well with the herald. And just generally just choosing to group over like ever being alone on the side lane getting farm. Okay, so probably looking to just try and bait a fight here when the enemies go to check their own Baron. Able to find one kill on the 0 already. Now the Rengar joins the fight. Unfortunately, Renata had to waste W on herself and didn't even get a revive. So she goes down, but at least they take down the Rengar. Overall, about an even fight. No, actually, sorry, that's a teamfight win for them. They actually killed the Azir as well. I forgot. So maybe gonna be looking for the Baron now, but I think they're making sure they don't do this too hastily. Because they're only 3, or only 2 really. Okay, now that Devil is grouping up, gonna be heading towards it now. Deciding that they can do it. So Rengar's dead at the moment. Syndra apparently also just died. So it's just gonna be pretty free now. They got the Kalista to secure the Drake, even if J4 didn't have smite. So the Baron definitely going to make it a lot easier for them to try and close out this game. Now going to be finishing out his build finally. Actually grabbing the Silver Mirror Dawn over the Mercurial Scimitar is interesting to note. He's actually going to prioritize just being tanky over getting more damage. Because obviously the Mercurial Scimitar gives some crit. Probably gives just slightly more AD as well, I think. And the crit would give him more on-hit with the Ginsus. But instead he would rather go for the Silver Mirror Dawn, which gives a lot more HP. And again, we've already highlighted how important tankiness is on Kalista. So it's just going to enable him to go more aggressive again. Be more of a frontliner for his team if needs be. Yep, just absolutely frontlining. Okay, so the early Renata W in case Rengar goes on him. But Rengar not gonna be able to do too much. And they will just ace them in their fountain. Alright, well, that was the end of that game. That is the Kalista Deft for you. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this in the future, guys. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Later, gamers.